Hey Capricorn, happy 2020 and happy new year to you. I've taken a little hiatus, but I'm back and I really wanted to do a 2020 outlook. So we're going to look at 3 different areas of your life. We're going to look at some general energies that will be coming in. We're going to take a look at your work and career, and then we'll take a look at your relationships and love. And at the end, we're going to take a look at an animal spirit and see if this is an animal spirit that you may be interested in working with this year to help you navigate anything that we may find in this reading or anywhere else throughout your year. And I'm going to be reading to you from the booklet for this, okay? So let's take a look at some general themes. We have the World. We have the King of Swords. And we have the Four of Pentacles. What I'm getting from these cards, Capricorn, is that I'm feeling a little bit of like a tug, like you're being pulled in different directions. On one side, it feels like you're really being held in place by your material obligations. Like you're really kind of being maybe overly protective of those things. The other side of you, I think, wants to really just express and explore and kind of bring in some new energy. And so you may find yourself in 2020, I almost kind of see you playing chess with yourself, like it shows in this card, which is, how do I find a balance between wanting to have these two, wanting to have, this is like wanting to have my cake and eat it too. This is Saturn, which is a very earthy, kind of heavy type of energy, but the World also brings us inspiration and new, right? The Four of Pentacles is Earth. It's also Capricorn energy, and but it's very stable and it's very careful. This is a very careful type of energy, and so there's some calculation that's happening here in terms of maybe bringing you into a new cycle and a new way of looking at things and a new way of doing things. In 2020, you may find yourself really starting to strategize and think about, how am I going to create this life that I want, right? But there's a feeling of like really, I'm feeling like these are separate. Even though these are both earth type energies, I'm still feeling like you're torn between 2 different paths on how to go about this stability. And I think you're trying to be very strategic about it. And so, possibly the solution that you can think about, we'll see what we get with the rest of the reading. But sometimes, logic, because this is logic, right? This is logic. This is mental strategy. Sometimes we just need to tap into our heart space, and then the solutions start to kind of open up for us, and we start to see things in ways that we hadn't seen them before. So that's something for you to consider, okay? So let's take a look at the energies around your work and career. The King of Cups, the King of Swords again, fascinating, and the Queen of Pentacles, 3 court cards. So maybe in 2020, you're going to find yourself doing business with many different people. Maybe you're going to find a lot of different personality types. All 3 of these personality types are very different to me. So maybe in your workplace, in your career place, you are really going to be engaging with a lot of different groups and a lot of different types of people. I do need to get some clarification on these, because with I've never gotten 3 court cards before, so this is interesting. So for Capricorn, and the King of Swords just popped out again, you guys. My goodness. King of Swords energy. For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, what more information can we give them about their work and their career for this coming year of 2020? What more information can we give Capricorn to help them navigate and support their work and their career in this coming year? All right, so we have Temperance in reverse. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Chariot in reverse. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And the Four of Pentacles in reverse, which is really interesting. I think you may find yourself at some point this year really trying to figure out how to incorporate all of this different. You may have your hands on a lot of different things. You may be engaging with a lot of different people and a lot of different companies. And you may be really finding it a bit of a struggle this year to navigate your path forward, to figure out how to balance all of these are such different energies. How do I balance these energies? How do I manifest kind of what I was getting here? You know, it's like I feel like internally you already know that there's a different path that you want to take, that there's some different ways that you want to do things. And so what I was kind of feeling like you were feeling torn about how to go about that. And it may be, the other way that I could read this is maybe when it comes to work, you're having to be the King of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles, which this is a very nurturing energy. This is a very calculating and methodical energy. And this is a very stable emotional energy. So your job may require a very diverse skill set, right? You may really be pushed and pulled and challenged and all kinds of different things in your career this year. And it looks like you may find that a little bit challenging this year. I don't have reversals in any of the cards that I'm using today, just so you know. I did that intentionally, but I do obviously have reversals in the clarification deck. So I'm finding it really interesting that we have more earth energy coming through, where it's like, how do I make this happen? How do I release and allow some new, because I was getting new with this and I'm still getting new with this. How do I let this newness come in? How do I find this balance for myself? The Hanged Man is an energy of yes, we're gaining perspective, but you're still not moving necessarily in a forward direction, as evidenced by this Chariot in reverse as well, right? So while the Hanged Man can be a very beautiful energy, it's much more helpful when we can gain the perspective and then move forward. But I'm feeling that there's still some stagnation, possibly some healing or some self-care, maybe even stronger coming through with that Temperance in reverse. Because you possibly have to be so many things to so many different people, you really are needing to focus on yourself. And maybe that's what this is about, Maybe when you leave work, because you're giving in so many different ways, you're keeping the rest of that energy, whatever little bit you have left, it's almost kind of like you want to hold on to it. And then there's part of you that's, I want to give. I want to change the world. I think literally for some of you maybe, right? This is really an interesting reading, Capricorn. So you'll have to tell me in the comments if this resonates or how it might apply in your life, okay? Let's take a look at your relationship sector. The Three of Cups, that's awesome. The Four of Arrows and the Five of Staves. So I see this as social, but I don't necessarily see love, connection, relationship in these cards. I see a wanting to maybe rest from that. So and the other thing we can get here is you may be in a phase, because it looks like you're doing so much, you may be going out and socializing and, having cocktails after work, or really just, going out and socializing with your friends, and maybe even with people. Maybe it's a friends with benefits type of situation. And then you find yourself really needing to kind of take time out to recuperate because you're doing quite a bit of this partying, perhaps to get your mind off of all of this. Whatever all of these responsibilities and opportunities and personalities are that you are involved with. And I think internally, as I was picking up here, and what this whole tugging thing I was talking about, you may have an internal struggle about the condition of this, right? So it's when we get into some really, what's the word? These are energies that are very draining to me because they're so diverse. It's like, which one do I focus on? Just like, so by the end of the day, you're probably exhausted, And so the instead of just going home and maybe meditating and going to sleep, you're probably taking some time to just, unwind with some alcohol, maybe having a glass of wine or some cocktails after work. And then there's this like recuperation that needs to happen. So maybe on the weekends, maybe sometimes you're, kind of overgoing a little harder than maybe you need to. And I feel like you're having an internal struggle about this. I don't necessarily feel like this is an external struggle. I think you're in like the fun zone right now with relationships. I don't think that you have much effort, much energy for anything other than maybe some friends with benefits type of thing is what this is looking like for me. All right, so that's for a subset of you that are really in this kind of heavy type of energy that are tied into this work thing, okay? But you are having some kind of internal struggle about this, and you probably are looking to shift it. I think that's what I was picking up here. For those of you that are in relationship, there's also this separation of, yeah, we have a good time. Yeah, it's fun when we go out together. But then we end up, maybe we end up feeling resentful about it, or maybe we end up, having arguments when we get home is kind of what I'm getting from this. So I don't, this is a 2020 outlook reading. So these are things and pitfalls to maybe watch out for as the year progresses, as you continue down the year. If you're already in this energy, right? This is a spectrum. You could already be in some of this energy that I described, in which case this is giving you an opportunity to really maybe think through it early, right? This is January. You have an opportunity now to really start to think through this. Same thing if you're in a current relationship. If you're finding that you're already in this type of energy of really going out and having a good time with your partner, and then maybe, I'm getting like housework doesn't get done, and the chores around the house don't get done because you need to spend the whole day recuperating from the fun that you had the night before, and then resentment starts to build, and then we start to have arguments. That's what I'm getting here. So, maybe I'm not saying that this is going to happen. This is for those of you that are probably already either on this path or experiencing this. So this is a validation for you, and also hopefully with the animal spirit that we get, will give you some tools to help you navigate forward and past this. Because these energies feel stuck to me. And so there's some work, Capricorn, that needs to be done here. And it's not something that I can necessarily tell you in a general tarot reading. And I know that's kind of heavy. It's a heavy way to leave this. So it's something for you to think about, and it's something for you to possibly work on in this coming year. That's another tough love. Usually Aquarius gets all my tough love, but Capricorn, you're getting it too this time. That's kind of a tough love reading. Okay, let's take a look at your animal spirit, which is snake spirit. It's time to heal. And we got that with the Temperance in reverse, right? I think some self-care is in order here. I think there's definitely some need for some self-care. So let's take a look at what Snake Spirit has to say for you. All of us need healing at times, and when Snake Spirit appears in its time, when Snake Spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Yeah. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. Yes. Vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for vitality is rising in you. And I feel like you really want to do the shift with this World card. I really am getting that. This might be a good time to honor the work you have done to heal, grow, and repair any damage within you, within those you care about, and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being, and open the door for healing to occur. All right, I'm also going to read you the protection message, which is intended if this card came up in reverse, but I'm not using reversals anywhere except for in the clarifiers, but the protection messages are worded differently, and I do want to give you that in the event that it resonates and you can use it this year, okay? No matter how much you may have lost or how you have been disappointed, you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past and practice radical self-acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin first becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyway. You have been weak, but now you are becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self-forgiveness for your role in what happened can help you heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. And I get that with this, you know, like I really feel like you're giving a lot, Capricorn, like you are giving a lot of yourself. And at the end of the day, there isn't much left for you to give to a relationship. And there's not much left for you to give to yourself. And so I really feel like that's the key for you this coming year, is to really focus on this, finding some internal balance and working on some healing from the standpoint of there's a lot happening here that may be pulling you in a lot of different directions, a lot of different people tugging at you and asking things of you. And I'm assuming that this has happened for quite some time because the energy feels very heavy and stuck. And so the suggestion here is that it's maybe time to start shifting. And, you know, and maybe by the end of the year, you can find ways to, you know, turn this temperance upright and get your chariot moving in a forward direction and learn how to share yourself in a healthier way, right? Because this feels very like it's too much. This is too much energy tugging at you. and asking for you, you know, and then we can bring in some new energy that's positive, new energy that's going to bring us to places and towards people that will be able to better help us support and nurture ourselves. All right? That is a tough love reading, Capricorn. Well, I hope that you got something out of that, and I hope that you decide to come back maybe later this year and rewatch this to see if parts of it resonate with you or helps you navigate anything that you may be dealing with this coming year. I wish you the best, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.